Hello guys, Jet88 back with an episode of FTL. Now, this is one of the new games that I found. I mean, I've known about it for a while. It's released in 2012. They just updated it back in July, I believe. So I've known about it for a while, but I thought it's a pretty interesting game. And the basis of the game is essentially you start out with a ship, and you have to go all the way through the levels, or the little sectors, and defeat essentially enemies and stuff and survive, and then eventually get to the point where you can defeat the main ship. Sorry if my words are not working too well. And I'm gonna put it on normal because easy is just too easy. And then we'll go from there. And I just reinstalled this on my computer so there's no achievements or anything on it. And essentially you can control doors by clicking on them, that kind of stuff, all that fun stuff. You're gonna fire up these weapons. These are your weapons here. And then you have shields too. You have to make sure you have shielding to not get hit, essentially. There are some ships, I believe there's at least one I know of, that you start out without any type of shielding on. And it's quite interesting to play with that guy. Alright, so the nearby planet shows sign of habitation, great beauty, message, warning, quarantine level 5, blah blah blah. Alright, we'll go on to the next. And essentially what I'm going to do to start out is fight every enemy we can find. And we use missiles, so we don't want to sell missiles. So I'm not going to sell those. But I'm going to fight every enemy we find so I can build up faster. Because that's the easiest way to build up, is actually risk. And I'm extremely surprised we have... Alright, so Mercenary asked us if they were broadcasting if someone could help them out, and then apparently we were not properly equipped. So we'll move on to the next beacon then. And your sensors have picked up on a refugee ship drifting through space. And we're gonna hail them. So now look, we can attack someone. A slug ship jumps into the system, and it was hunting the refugee ship for sport. Now they found you instead. Alright, so now you can show here. I can show you sort of how things work. So we're going to target, this is like their shields here. This is weapons, O2, engines, piloting. This is the basic things. We do have a door system and sensors. But we're going to fire up on their shields first. We're going to try and conserve missiles too, because it's a pain to try and get missiles. That was the other thing I was going to do too. If you press space it pauses it, but we're going to move this guy up to shields. Because I always try and do someone on weapons, someone on shields, and then someone on piloting, because you always need a pilot. So we took all their stuff out, so they don't have shields or anything. They don't even have door access to their O2 or engines. That's not good. And we're just going to keep hitting them with the laser because we're going to try and conserve missiles. So we're going to let this keep going. And there we go. Took out our first enemy. Now it shows that we got 2 fuel, 1 drone part, and then 17 scrap. Scrap is what you use to upgrade the ship. So the refugee now we contacted the refugee ship. They claim that the slugs have been hounding them since they left their homeworld, and seeing that we destroyed the enemy and that we helped them, they're going to give us some supplies. So we get 2 more fuel, a missile, and 9 scrap. So now we should have enough. The first thing I always upgrade is doors, because with the normal doors that we have right now, like these doors, enemies can just walk right through them. There's nothing blocking them from going through. Now if we do go with like the regular doors there, or the blast doors there, now it's going to be harder because they have to fight through the door. You can also man these, so like sometimes if people invade the back of the ship, I'll move everyone up front and throw someone on doors, and they cannot get through. And essentially we're going to hit as many beacons as we can before we get to the end. And we're going to download that. So now we have all the data about this sector. It's not super helpful, but I thought we'd get more scrap or something. We do have fuel, a drone part, and some scrap. So it's not all lost. So we have an asteroid field here. Let's see what an asteroid field's like. So it's gonna, yep, so there's, anytime you go to an asteroid field, there's always enemies. So pirate ship was lying, waiting inside this asteroid field, and immediately moves an attack. So we're gonna fight them. The first thing I always do is target their shields, because then the asteroids will take their shields out. Now they're going to stun us probably with that before we can get on their weapon systems, which is not good. Alright, so we want more scrap than that. If you destroy an enemy ship, usually it'll give you more scrap. They don't have weapons, so that's good. Essentially, there's several different types of weapons in this game. There's some newer ones too, and I'll show you guys those as we get them. Alright, so we got 18 scrap, 2 missiles, and fuel. So we're back up to 9 missiles. Well, we're actually up to 9 missiles, so we're at a surplus of 1. But essentially for weapons, they have missile-based ones, they have laser-based ones, then they have like ion-based ones, and then they have some newer ones. Alright, now we can jump, so we're gonna jump here. Alright, so we see a small rebel ship nearby. It seems to have been refitted for transport rather than combat. I want supplies. They're gonna try and leave. So we're gonna target shields and piloting. See if we can take those down quick. And also evade does play a role into how often you get hit. Our evade's pretty low, so we're gonna get hit a lot, like that. And now it says enemy FTL delayed, so now they can't go anywhere. Alright, we just took a weapons hit, but that's not too bad. That guy will need to be healed up. Come on. Hopefully they don't get away. Alright, they took our piloting out now. That's no good. They also released another drone, which is useless. We're gonna aim for their weapon systems. Hopefully they'll stop firing on us. There we go. So we got a system repair drone, which this will be useful if we get drones, which I'm thinking might not be a bad idea, because then we'll have something to repair the ship instead of crew. Because right now you can see the system's orange, so that means it needs to be repaired. Send this guy here, and then also you can see their health, it's only 85 of 100, so we're going to send this guy to the med bay while that guy fixes that. So they're going to heal up, so he's done, we'll send him back. And I'll show you what these buttons here are too. I forget about these sometimes, I'm still used to the old version. So now we're going to move you up here. And we have Kirkner, Blotch, and fired him. I think I'm saying that right. But essentially you can save your crew positions. So now let's say we send everyone here. We can hit this button here, and they'll return to their positions they had before. Now let's try and get through. And let's go up here. We're going to try and hit as many different ships as we can. Looks like they ran out of fuel. 1 fuel for 5 missiles. I will take that trade, because now we have lots of missiles. We'll go here. Probably won't avoid the rebels this time. I'll show you what it looks like. So we're going to attack them. And they're going to hack our O2. That's not good. Not too worried about it right now. Worry about that then. Stop it with you. Now we're gonna vent that. So they got weapons down, they got hacking down. There's that. There's some you back here to fix this. And we may get some hacking modules or something like that. And I'll show you, I'll explain what they do. You sort of saw what it did there, but I'll explain it if we get it. I'm going to try and get all the new stuff eventually. The way you essentially get stuff is by buying it with scrap. Goodbye, you. Alright, so now we have all the details again. That's stupid, but we have more scrap metal, which is helpful. Refueling platform. there's an explosion. Alright, so they destroyed our engines, so we're going to send him back here. We're going to immediately start firing on their weapons and their shields. So he's going to fix it, hopefully. So they're going to stop firing on us now, which will help. We're going to take their O2 out next. Nope, we're going to aim on weapons. Because they just brought weapons back online. You're going to go back here. So we got 14 scrap, a drone part, and a fuel. Alright, so it looks like next couple encounters will be ships, which is fine. That's one of the new weapons. I can sort of... I won't explain that. It's an ion, so essentially what it does is any system it hits, it shorts it out for a certain amount of time. That's what ion-based weapons do. So like you'll see it hit my shields here probably, the first shot that they do with this guy. If they get a shot off with it, which they're not. But essentially it'll hit my shields and take my shields out for a couple seconds or for a certain amount of time. And that essentially will not help us. Oh, they have fire in there. That's not good. So it'll, like if it hits weapons, it'll take like a certain bar or a certain amount of power out of the weapon systems. Alright, so we got 2 fuel and 13 scrap, which isn't bad. So the exit's going to be fun to fight through. So now we have to deal with these guys. Oh, they have teleport. That is not good. That is not good at all. We're gonna fire on... I'm not sure. Let's do weapons and shields. I'm gonna have you take him out for a little bit. Take her out, actually. No, you're not doing too well. We're gonna start fencing and shit. Hopefully we can suffocate this person out. Close all these doors. Start take them out. There we go. So we got 1 fuel, 1 drone part, and 18 scrap. So we're doing okay on fuel. We're running a little low on missiles. We're doing okay with drone parts. We're gonna want to fix that up before we face the rebels. Normally when that, I can show you on the map here in a second, but essentially this is showing where the rebels are gonna be, and any of these spots are going to be dangerous. So they're gonna have they're gonna have both anti-ship batteries and a hard ship to beat there. So we're gonna have fun trying to get out of there. We're actually gonna power down the med bay, power up engines a little bit. Do we have enough for... Just trying to do math in my head. Alright, so we're gonna add another shields. Just so we're a little bit harder to hit. We're out of scrap metal, but that's okay. So see, they got 2 shields and they got quite a few weapons, so we're going to focus on weapons and try and charge out of here. That's the goal, because their anti-ship battery is going to rip us up very quickly. But at least we got something out in weapon systems. So keep firing on weapon systems. We're going to set auto fire on now. We don't have any more shields. That's no good. Well, there goes the back of the ship, and and our O2. That's not good. Okay, you're gonna go fix O2 instead. Fire on that. O2, if you don't have O2, people will die very quickly. So they're probably gonna hit us again. Okay, they hit our missile system. And they took our engines out, that's not good. And there we go. So that's the first episode, I guess. We just got completely owned. That was a very bad decision. Alright, so that'll be the end of the first episode. As always, guys, go ahead and comment as to how you think I should play the series, any games you want me to play, that kind of stuff. Please like the videos if you like it, and I will see you guys in the next video.